Remember when a film made a pop star into an actress, a rejected screenplay into the biggest soundtrack in history, and a love story into something that refused to end? A bodyguard who never smiled, a singer who had never acted, and a song that began with one voice, alone, without instruments, because a producer thought that was the right way to show how much one person could love another. Kevin Costner as the ex-Secret Service agent who took the job seriously. Whitney Houston, in her first film, as the star who didn't think she needed him, and a script that had been sitting in a drawer for 17 years waiting for both of them. The Bodyguard, 1992. 16 facts, including the promise Costner made before filming began and how he kept it. Fact 1. The script was rejected 67 times. The man who wrote it went on to write The Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lawrence Kasdan wrote his first draft in 1975, inspired by Kurosawa's Yojimbo. Studios rejected it 67 times. While it gathered dust, Kasdan was hired to write The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Return of the Jedi. The screenplay that nobody wanted was written by the man who became one of the most successful screenwriters in Hollywood history. Fact 2. The original leads were Steve McQueen and Diana Ross, then Ryan O'Neal and Diana Ross, then nobody. Warner Brothers bought the script as a vehicle for McQueen and Ross. McQueen withdrew. Ryan O'Neal, who was dating Ross, replaced him. The studio told O'Neal they wouldn't greenlight the film unless Ross agreed to star. Ross read the script and hated everything about it: the nudity, the violence, the language, even the title. She pulled out. O'Neal blamed her for the end of their relationship. By the time the film resurfaced, McQueen was dead. Fact 3. Costner insisted on Houston. The studio suggested Michelle Pfeiffer, then Julia Roberts, then anyone with acting experience. The objections were consistent. Houston had never made a film. Some executives raised a different concern. The film centered on an interracial romance, considered controversial by certain people inside the industry in 1992. Costner's response: "Everybody alerted me to the fact that she was black, which I knew." He delayed the start of production by an entire year so Houston could finish her concert tour. The studio thought he was wrong. He was right. Fact 4. Madonna was considered for the role. Then, she made a gagging gesture about Costner on camera and lost her chance. In 1990, Costner came backstage at one of Madonna's concerts and told her the show was neat. After he left, she stuck her finger in her mouth and made a gagging gesture for the documentary crew filming her. Truth or Dare was released in May 1991. According to a People magazine report that July, Costner denied Madonna an audition specifically because of that moment. She had mocked him for being too wholesome. He cast Whitney Houston. Fact 5. Houston's makeup ran during the audition. Costner stopped everything and started again. Houston arrived having replaced her film set makeup with her own concert makeup. She wanted to feel normal. The heat of the lights made it run down her face mid-audition. Costner stopped the session immediately, sent her back to her trailer, had the proper makeup reapplied, and began again. That decision, to protect her rather than push through, set the tone for everything that followed. Fact 6. Houston gave Costner singing lessons on set, in exchange for acting lessons. Costner was producer and lead actor. Houston had never made a film. The arrangement: she would teach him to sing, he would teach her to act. Neither became proficient in the other's discipline. The film worked anyway. Fact 7. The a cappella opening of I Will Always Love You was Costner's idea. The record company was horrified. The original plan was a full arrangement from the first note. Costner: "I need it to be a cappella because it shows a measure of how much she digs this guy, that she sings without music." The record company argued radio wouldn't play it. Costner: "You guys need to get over that." The single spent 14 weeks at number 1. It became the best-selling single by a female artist in history. Fact 8. The director's first cut had no chemistry between the leads. His exact words: "They looked like pals passing the time of day." Director Mick Jackson screened his assembled cut and gave his assessment. There was no chemistry. They looked like a couple of pals passing the time of day instead of the torrid lovers they were supposed to be. Costner had final cut rights. He used them, trimming Houston's dialogue, adding close-ups, restructuring their scenes. The version audiences saw was not the director's version. It was Costner's. A script rejected 67 times. A lead actress who had never made a film. A director who thought his own film had no chemistry. And a producer who kept overruling everyone. Up to here, how the film got made. From here, what it became and what it cost. Fact 9. The woman on the iconic poster is not Whitney Houston. Houston had already gone home when photographer Ben Glass took the shot. Costner had her stunt double, Joyce Larkin, wear the costume and bury her face in his shoulder. Warner Brothers executives objected. This was a Whitney Houston film. Shouldn't audiences see her face? Costner fought for the image. He selected it himself. It became one of the most recognizable movie posters in cinema history. The woman in Costner's arms has never publicly discussed the experience. Fact 10. The final kiss scene worked because the cameraman lost control of the camera. In the last sequence, Houston's character returning to the runway to kiss Costner goodbye. The camera began spinning uncontrollably. The operator had lost his grip. The circular motion that gives the scene its dreamlike quality was unplanned. Director Jackson revealed it in the making-of featurette. Nobody stopped it. The most romantic shot in the film was an accident that nobody corrected. Fact 11. Dolly Parton heard Whitney Houston's version for the first time on the radio. She had to pull over. Parton wrote the song in 1973 as a farewell to her business partner. When the filmmakers asked to use it, she agreed and forgot about it. Then one day, driving from her office to her home in Nashville, she heard Houston's version on the radio for the first time. She pulled over. She sat in the car until it finished. She earned an estimated $10 million in royalties. She invested the money in an office complex in a black neighborhood in Nashville. Fact 12. The film received 7 Razzie nominations. One of them was for Kevin Costner's haircut. Rotten Tomatoes, 38%. At the 13th Golden Raspberry Awards. Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Actress, Worst Screenplay, Worst Original Song, Worst New Star for Houston, and a separate nomination for Costner's hair. The film earned $411 million worldwide. The Razzies nominated the hair. The audience bought 45 million albums. Fact 13. Houston cried on set. She questioned whether she was good enough. Costner had made her a promise. Before filming, Costner called Houston. "I will not let you fall. I will help you." On set she cried, questioning her voice and her ability to deliver. Costner, at her funeral. Arguably, the biggest pop star in the world, didn't think she was good enough. He allowed only her close friend Robin Crawford on set. No entourage, just the promise. Fact 14. Costner cut love scenes from the final film, not because they were too explicit, but because he had made a promise. Additional intimate scenes were filmed and removed. One showed Frank carrying Rachel from a club and undressing her. They weren't cut for content reasons. Costner had promised Houston before filming that she would never look bad. He kept the promise in the edit room. Houston later said the deleted scenes were tasteful and she would have been comfortable either way. The promise mattered more than the footage. Fact 15. When Whitney Houston died, CNN asked Costner to keep his eulogy short because of commercial breaks. He refused. Houston died on February 11, 2012. She was 48. CNN was broadcasting the funeral live and asked speakers to keep remarks brief. Costner: "They can play the commercial while I'm talking." His eulogy ran 17 minutes. He told the congregation what he had told her on set: "I will not let you fall." He said she would always love him in the song. He would always keep his promise. The commercials waited. Fact 16. After The Bodyguard became a hit, Kevin Costner developed a sequel. He knew exactly who should star in it. Costner contacted Princess Diana and asked her to play the lead. Diana agreed. The screenplay was written. The first draft was completed on August 30, 1997. Diana died in Paris on August 31, 1997. The project was scrapped. The day after the screenplay was finished, the woman who had agreed to star in it was gone. He had spent years protecting Whitney Houston on screen. He had written a film to protect Diana. He was one day too late.